So next topic for discussion is none other than I did a thread in the patrons Discord today of super cheap buys. So these are players that are outside of the top.
Well, I don't like that I have one and that you wrote a thread about him.
Well, that's awkward. These are players outside of the top 20 rounds of startup ADP. So we're talking like deep sleepers at this point, guys that are like fringy roster players in some leagues. So I did a thread on those today, and I thought, what a fun topic for discussion. So I will let you go ahead because I am fully prepared.
I have several guys to talk about, so I won't steal yours. But if you happen to not mention him, then I will mention him afterwards. How about that?
All right. Okay. So what's that?
No, go for it.
Okay. Oh, pardon me. Let me get ready here. So my player that I will start with is, in fact, I named this whole thread was bad players you must buy, basically. So bad player to purchase number one on my list is Keaonté Ingram. Yeah, he is a player who plays. What's that?
I said yes. That's my number one guy too.
Yeah, he's outrageously undervalued right now. I've been working on this thing a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to actually publish it or not, but basically he's like one of, if not the cheapest direct backup running back in the world.
He's the cheapest confirmed direct backup. Like there's several other direct backups that are cheaper because we don't actually know who the direct backup is.
Yeah.
But of the backups who we now for sure know they're the number two, and we do. He played 4 snaps with the starters in week 2 of the preseason in a game that James Conner played. Conner played 11 snaps. Ingram played 4 snaps. No other running back in the Cardinals played a snap with the Cardinals starters. So he is the number 2, and he's definitely the cheapest confirmed number 2.
Yeah. So like I just sometimes I get so confused by the pricing of backup running backs because some of them are like crazy expensive, and I'm like, you don't even know if that's the guy who's going to be the backup. You don't know what kind of role he's going to play when he, if the starter goes down. You don't really know a whole bunch of things, and yet some of these guys are super expensive, and I'm just like, oh, that's crazy. And then you have a guy like this where it's like, I'm pretty confident, like a tremendous degree of confidence that he is the direct backup, and if James Conner goes down, he will be the player who takes his place. And let's not forget that James Conner has been fairly or unfairly categorized as injury prone for like 4 straight years. He misses time almost every year, like most running backs do. And like, was it like 3 years ago when he was the Steelers starter and then got hurt? And everyone was like, oh, he can't stay healthy because he had cancer and he had chemotherapy, and now it's all over for him. And it's just crazy to me that now people don't even want his backup running back when pretty much every analyst in the world is like, hey, you know what a great way to win your fantasy football league is? To have the damn contingent upside. This is a player with contingent upside. He's like 6 foot, 215 pounds or somewhere thereabouts, if I recall correctly.
6'2", 21.
Okay, even better. He runs like a 4.5 something or other, which is
4.59, which is fine at 221 pounds.
Yeah.
80th percentile burst score as well.
Excellent burst score. And then we have he wasn't like a big pass catcher in college, but he did not catch passes in college. He's about a 50th percentile target share player, which was
he has 3 seasons over 20 catches, and he always played with really talented teammates, and is 6.5% market share receiving yards, which is totally fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
He's just totally fine. And yet he's going outside the top 20 rounds, and it's completely unreasonable. We have Kyler Murray, who is out right now, and that's fine because Colt McCoy is the presumed starter, and Colt McCoy is one. What would be the word I'm looking for? He is definitely somebody who does not want to test the defense deep.
His next hit is his last, so he's checking that ball down.
So, if
he's currently hosting a show for the Underdog Fantasy Network, so that's where his priorities are at.
If James Conner were to get injured early in the season, we would have Colt McCoy. If James Conner does not get hurt early in the season, instead gets hurt late in the season, we have a Kyler Murray offense. Both of these are appealing to me, and it's actually strange to me. Kyler Murray seems to throw the ball to running backs at a fairly reasonable clip for running quarterback. I'm curious if that is a staple of the Cliff genius, or if that is a Kyler Murray thing. It certainly wasn't in college. I kind of feel like it might be a Cliff thing because he would like spread everyone out and then throw it underneath.
I think it's kind of a Cliff thing. Like, I think he just designs routes so shitty that no one's open, so they have to throw to running backs. Plus, it's just the whole thing is designed to like get the ball out.
Yeah, interesting guy, that Cliff fella. So at the end of the day, we have the efficiency boost from rushing from Kyler Murray, and or possibly still some running back targets, and or some running back targets from noted deep ball specialist Colt McCoy. And it's like the other guys in the depth chart are like Corey Clement, who is definitely not it, and Tyson Williams.
He's playing half the snaps at fullback in the preseason, by the way. Corey Clement
is. Yeah,
he's splitting time between running back and fullback.
That makes a lot of sense because most offenses feature fullbacks heavily. So I like that for him. Love that for him. So it's just, I don't know. There's just no reason not to be way overweight on Keaonté Ingram. Should basically be your most rostered player because he's basically free and has tremendous contingent upside. And that's my dude.
Yeah, totally agree. I'll even add a little bit more. I wrote up Keaonté Ingram. I did the Bucks and the Cardinals backfield in my most recent Hitchhiker's Guide post. And yeah, here's what I had to say on Ingram. Ingram played with a high caliber teammate throughout his college career and was consistently more efficient per carry than the average of his backfields. His best attribute per Noah Hills was converting chunk gains, posting a chunk rate, which is percentage of carries gaining 10 yards or more, in the 79th percentile for his career and 97th percentile in his final year. He's a guy who does what coaches want. He's a guy who gets what's blocked. He never was a big play runner, but he was consistently efficient overall, and he was consistently efficient at gaining positive yardage and getting those intermediate gains, and was always totally fine out of the backfield and as a receiver. So that's kind of exactly what I like to target for late round running backs. It's just guys where if things happen in front of them where they get on the field, they're not going to give the coaches an obvious reason why they have to be taken off the field. They may not ever be so impressive that they get their own backfield, but if James Conner goes down for a month and Keaonté Ingram gets the shot, I don't think he's going to fuck it up so badly that they're like, we got to get anybody else. Like, I think he's just going to get what's blocked and catch the balls that come his way and be totally adequate. And Drew was talking about James Conner getting injured. I mean, I think there's like even more upside here where, I mean, this team is projected by Vegas to be the worst in the NFL by a lot. They're not favored to win a single game this entire season. They have the lowest win total in the league. Who knows if Kyler Murray even plays at any point this year. It's also not like Cliff Kingsbury coaching for his job, running out James Conner, for 100% of the snaps in the last game of the season anymore. It's a brand new coaching staff. I guarantee you James Conner will not be on the Cardinals whenever they are good again. So if Keaonté Ingram shows them anything, like, I just don't see what incentive this team has at potentially like 2-13 to just keep rolling out a 28-year-old James Conner at all. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I feel like if any running back is going to be like ruled out in week 16 with general soreness, James Conner is top of the list for that one. So,
general soreness. Love that.
I just think, like, I just see a scenario where, like, if Ingram shows the staff that he's a player that they want to get to know a little bit better, they're going to get to know him a little bit better. There's just no incentive to play James Conner in a lost cause season. So I think he has a lot of contingent value that can come through like a kind of sort of injury. I don't even think it has to come through I just broke my leg. Or they just do kind of what the Bucs did last year, where they were just like, Leonard Fournette's clearly dust. We're not going to, take him off the field, but we'll just give the other guy every second drive because we'll just see what he has. Like, I see that as a pretty viable scenario. And there's no other young guy. That's the thing. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like they have Ingram and then they also just drafted someone in round 6 and you're like, who knows? But there's nobody else. It's like the only other young guy in this backfield is this UDFA Amari DiMercato, who is Kendra Miller's backup at TCU, and I don't think there's like anything remotely interesting about him. So,
well, he played in the national championship game.
That's true.
So,
and they lost that game after winning all their other games because Kendra Miller got hurt. So that's clearly Amari DiMercato's fault. If they had Kendra Miller, they would have won instead of losing by like 55. Yeah,
he was the cause of the 55-point loss. That's rough. That is rough. Considering running backs don't matter, and then to have one matter that much,
He matters a lot.
Yeah. That is